yesterday, you know, y'all, I feel like, I don't know, like we know y'all. Just feel so close to you. Anywho, yesterday, a joint statement went out from 5 major networks, ABC News, CBS, CNN, NBC, and yes, Fox News, that declared that they will not sign the new Pentagon press policy. And they say it is without precedent and threatens the core journalistic protections. Retired General Jack Keane put things into perspective last night on Fox News. Take a look.
What they're really doing, they want to spoon-feed information to the journalists, and that will be their story. That's not journalism. Journalism is going out and finding the story and getting all the facts to support it. And no one's going to walk in and bang on a door of a 4-star general or senior civilian policy leader in the Pentagon. I never had that, but I did have journalists chasing a story of something that was going on in the Army, and those things were legitimate.
Yeah.
Yes. But Pete Hegseth, and you know who, defended the policy and hinted it may even be used at the White House. Take a look.
Will you consider removing new restrictions on the press that report at the Pentagon? And have you spoken to Secretary Hegseth about this?
I have, yeah. I think he finds the press to be very disruptive in terms of world peace and maybe security for our nation. Press is very dishonest.
It used to be, Mr. President, the press could go anywhere, pretty much anywhere in the Pentagon, the most classified area in the world. Or also that if they sign on to the credentialing, they're not going to try to get soldiers to break the law by giving them classified information. So it's common sense stuff.
You know, we have an option here, as you know, the press years ago moved into the White House. It used to be across the street. We could move them. You're lucky I'm president.
Whoa. Well, so my question is, are Americans going to be okay with these kinds of restrictions on the media?
No, because...
I'm sorry, what? Just was asking.
Freedom of the press is not a right or left issue, it's an American issue, which is why you're seeing those networks, including Fox News, who don't agree on much, coming together and in the name of that saying no. When the general said, you know, you don't have people spoon-feed the news, that's not journalism. It's not, it's propaganda. And that is unique to autocratic societies. The irony here is I think their point in doing this was they want to stop the leaks. They want to stop the leaks. Well, when you take away...
they should stop making the calls.
Well, when you take away...
inside the house.
When you take away the fourth estate, which is, you know, not an official branch of government, but just as important in its job to be accountable, to kind of spotlight transparency, also to hold people accountable when they're doing things. But this is not going to stop leaks. This is going to force those leaks inside the House. So now it will actually have the complete opposite ending than they're hoping for.
It's kind of ironic because Hegseth is the leaker in chief. He's the one.
Signalgate.
He's the one who spilled the beans at Signalgate.
That's right.
And possibly war plans and everything else. And I think that this is kind of a cover for him in a way. But I think he's a problem. He's not qualified for the job.
Right.
So I think this is a cover up for him. And by the way, if they get rid of all the press, who is Caroline Leavitt going to lie to?
So I was the spokesperson. I'll let your joke sit and not step on it.
Let it rest. Let it rest.
Let it rest.
Allison,
so I was the press secretary at the Pentagon, and I worked with most of the same press corps that's there today, and I can say they are the most professional people who take our national security with just the height of responsibility. We were in positions at times in respect where we'd have to talk them through, you can't publish this, there's national security risks, it could put our troops in danger, and they would always hands down work with us. I also want to applaud Newsmax, a right of center, right-wing outlet, also is not signing on to this because they understand that this is bigger than any one administration. If this administration wants to, imagine if it was a Democratic administration, how Republicans would feel if they said, no, Lloyd Austin is not going to let the press into the building. They're not going to give the press conferences. They're not going to give information. If there is one department where it matters the most, it's the one that can make war on behalf of the American people. We have to be able to get answers regardless of who is running it at this time.
But there's one that stayed out of it, OAN.
which
yeah.
I would
That's
argue
a-
is a bit more of a propaganda.
That's the Matt
network.
Gaetz.
Yeah, I
Matt
don't think
Gaetz is involved
that's
in
sort
that.
of.
I'm not sure anyone's watching
I don't know
that.
that it's that legitimate, but you know, when I read this story, I started to think, what is Pete Hegseth trying to hide? That was the first question that came
His
to my mind.
incompetence, perhaps?
Maybe his incompetence, maybe something that's going on. Because if you think about these press conferences, remember when it was weapons of mass destruction that was used as sort of the pretext of going into Iraq, and there were no weapons of mass destruction. If we didn't have a press corps there at the Pentagon looking into it, asking the questions, the American people would not have known
They
that.
bombed it anyway.
Well,
though.
and the
They
State
would've-
Department.
And the
yeah.
State Department. The American people would not have known that. And so there are 100 news organizations that are part of that press corps. You're going to ban 100 news organizations? And he actually lied. Pete Hegseth lied during that press conference because he said he's only worried about classified information. Actually, the new policy includes unclassified information. So they are lying about the actual policy that they want to put into place.
Trump will
and
never
let's
do
remember,
it. Trump will never do it. He's such a ham. He
Yeah,
loves an
exactly.
audience.
But he does know the power of the press. Like, how often is Trump like,
Exactly.
go get the press corps, I want to do a
Well,
press
this is
conference.
why
Yeah.
I love the fact that finally the press is recognizing that they are stronger together
yes.
than they are separately.
Yeah.
But I want also, you know, while we're talking about Washington, I want to make a suggestion because, you know, we're still in the middle of the shutdown.
Oh, yeah.
I have a suggestion. I would like Republicans and Democrats to come together and decide they're not going to take their salaries. Because until you are getting, until this affects you the way it's affecting your constituents,
Yes.
y'all are not going to settle this.
Yes.
So as an American, I am asking that you not take a salary until you settle this. And I think lots of people might feel the same way.
I agree with that.